Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we're talking 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 7 episode whatever. What episode are we on? It's the season finale. It's the season finale of Happily Ever After finally. It's been a long season, but I'm glad it's finally over. But we still got there. There's still plenty left to come, so stay tuned. So I'm just gonna get right into it. This is the last episode before the tell-alls. I guess we have a break for Christmas, and then we'll be back for the tell-alls on New Year's. So, first couple I'm gonna start with is Big Ed and Liz. So in this episode, last week we mentioned that Liz had took basically ownership of the restaurant that she works at. And her and Ed's biggest concern is that she's going to be working like 80 hours a week and stuff. So in this episode, we actually seen Ed rekindle his relationship with his mother. He got to meet up with his mother Norma to discuss things. Norma still don't want to see Liz, but was upset that why Ed when he got back with Liz shut everybody out and stuff. So he got to meet up with Norma. They went out to eat and stuff and rekindled their friendship. Later in the episode, we seen Liz talk to Ed, talk to her boss about the ownership, and it was made official that she's going to take part of ownership of that restaurant, and she said that she needs to discuss it with Ed. So she did, and the conversation went okay. Ed accepted it. He said he'll support her, and then Ed gonna turn around and say, "I'm not ready to get married right now," and stuff. And Liz is just getting upset. It's just she just can't take any more heartbreak. But Liz also mentioned that she was surprised how Ed took the news of her accepting that position. So I'm kind of surprised about how Ed took that, because you know how Ed likes to be in control all the time. So I mean, kudos to that. But him saying that he's not ready to get married right now, it's just you have two engagement parties and you're just not ready to get married. Now I agree that he's not ready to get married, but he can't keep stringing Liz on the way he's doing it. And so, judging by the previews of the tell-all, it doesn't look good between Ed and Liz. And I'll get to the tell-all previews after I finish up here. So that was all we seen of Big Ed and Liz. Next I want to talk is Kimberly and Usman. So in this episode, they got 4 scenes this episode. Kimberly and Usman, Kimberly's son Jamal, who's now dating Veronica, by the way, he leaves, and he just, he leaves and goes back to America. He said he held his PS5 tightly, and so I thank Usman for that. Jamal has his doubts about Kimberly and Usman, and then he just left. He left on a good note. But as soon after he left, Kimberly and Usman just got into a big fight. I guess Usman said some nasty things. He said that she needs a tummy tuck, which I thought was completely ignorant. He was complaining about the hotel room being messy and her shoes. Excuse me, his shoes not being put away right, and just all kinds of stuff. And Kimberly's like, they're still arguing who's making the most sacrifice. Kimberly's saying she's making the most sacrifice for traveling across the world to be with him. Usman's saying he's doing her a favor and stuff, and it's just ridiculous. I think Usman has just become too big for his britches at this point. And then it just leads to them. It looks like they broke up. We left on a cliffhanger with Kimberly sobbing and crying, after a big fight with Usman, telling her, well, pack your bags and go back then. And I just think that he is running game on her. I don't think Usman really loves Kimberly. I don't think he even loves anybody. He just don't know what he wants, and he thinks he's all Mr. Cool Soldier Boy type thing, and he's just too big for his britches. He don't need to be with nobody, I feel like, because if he wants to settle down, then he needs to be a little bit more mature the way he's acting. I know with the adoption thing, they want to adopt his nephew Mahadi and all that stuff, but I think Usman needs to do some soul searching himself, basically, and need to treat Kimberly a little bit better. And in my opinion, I think Kimberly's making a more sacrifice, because she's traveling across the world. She's madly in love with him, and he's not in love with her as much as she is with him. And that takes a lot. And she got her son involved in everything, and she came up here and got the blessing for them to get married as well with the family, which was not easy. So it is what it is. Again, judging by the previews for the tell-all, it's not looking good for them either. And I'll get to that in a minute. Next couple I want to talk is Angela and Michael. So they only have one scene this episode. So this episode, last week Angela left Nigeria on a good note. But in this episode, it just showed her crying and sobbing and stuff, and saying that Michael was talking to another woman, and he was cheating on her, and there was Angela got a hold of screenshots and an audio clip saying that I miss you, baby, to another girl. I got some money coming your way. Let me sort out things, this, and that. And of course, he'll deny it to Angela. And when I saw that, Angela was just sobbing. Normally, Angela is just screaming and will call back and cuss him out. But I actually felt bad for Angela. And throughout this whole season, I was Team Michael. And normally I'm Team Angela, except for this season. I was Team Michael this whole season until now, and I feel like all of Angela's suspicions came true. And it's just like, he got that Instagram up, and he really was talking to other woman and stuff, and he's now been caught. It looks like they're still together, but because I see Angela's Instagram and she's doing TikToks with Michael now instead of Billy. And so, but Angela was just devastated by that. And we'll see how any tell-all that Angela's part of, she's about to have a fit. So she walks off. Every single tell-all she has walked off. I remember season 2 of Before the 90 Days, she walked off after she got into it with Rachel. Season 3 of Before the 90 Days, that tell-all she got into it with Avery and Tim because of them bullying Jesse, and they made her leave early. And she also got it with Rebecca at that tell-all. Season 7 of 90 Day Fiancé, she actually stayed, but she got into it with the goofballs of Michael's friends, but she came back. Season 5 of Happily Ever After, she got it, and she actually stayed that whole time too. She got into it with Swaley's sister Tammy, and then last season on Happily Ever After, she got into it. They had Lydia, and remember Flash the whole set and then left twice actually. So Angela's known for her meltdowns at the tell-all, and judging by the preview, it looks like her and Usman are going to be getting into it, which I predicted would happen. And I'm surprised Kimberly ain't going to be saying nothing. But again, I'll preview the tell-all in a minute. So anyway, that was Angela and Michael. Next I want to talk is Jovi and Yara. So Jovi and Yara, they're still in Europe. Jovi's about to go back to work, and he wants to go back to America with Yara because Yara wants to stay in Europe to help her family and friends escape the war and stuff and everything. And, again, Yara means well, but the way she's going about it's not right. And Jovi thinks she's being really reckless and selfish. Yara thinks he's being selfish. It's just hit and miss. It's just back and forth with them two. So in this episode, Jovi tells Yara, okay, you could stay. And Jovi only said that because it was a wake-up call when Yara said that she's been miserable in America for 2 years and stuff. And so he feels like if I let her do this, she would want to come back. And Yara's feeling that too. If he's letting me do certain things, maybe I will come back. But, I still stand by what Jovi said. And I said I knew when Yara got her green card that she was going to want to travel and not come back, basically. And I knew she was going to do this and stuff. So we hope she comes back and everything. So they leave on a good note. And Jovi's going back to work. Yara's going to stay for a little bit. He asked how long she was going to stay. Is it going to be a week, month, a couple days, whatever? She said she don't know. I mean, if I was her, I would stay the whole time that Jovi's gone for work, since he's gone for a month, and then they go back to America together. I mean, that's just my opinion. That gives Yara another month to do what she want to do in Europe and stuff, and then when the time is up, she could come back to America. As simple as that. That's just my opinion. So they basically left on a high note. So yeah, that was the end of Jovi and Yara. Next couple is, I want to talk We did Ed and Lid. Oh, Bilal and Shida. Bilal and Shida again. They only had one scene. They're still in New York. You know, Shida just came to the conclusion that she needs to really quit talking about the baby special, baby thing, because she's like it is ruining her marriage, and like, you know, they're still like at a carnival type thing and got a pretzel and stuff, and they're still talking about the baby. And Shida says that she loves Bilal regardless and everything, and thinks he's a great man and everything. And she realized talking this baby stuff will ruin her marriage, which I agree. But they need to. I know Shida, the clock is ticking for her to have a baby, but you know she needs to enjoy being married before having a baby. I think so. I think that's what, at the end of the day, I think that's what Bilal's just trying to like press into her, is that like, you know, they need to just enjoy being married. They don't really know each other that long, you know, so they only spent 7 days together in Trinidad. And then she came here on a K1 visa. So yeah, I think they need to enjoy being married. I'm glad Shida finally came to that conclusion, basically, about that, so the baby talk could stop. So we'll see how that goes. I heard a rumor that she might be, again, those are rumors. I ain't doing rumors on this page unless they are official. That she might be pregnant, but we'll see. We'll see come to tell all. So yeah, next and last but not least, I want to talk is Elizabeth and Andre and Elizabeth's crazy family. This family, I am so sick of this family. I'm sick of Andre versus this family. I'm sick of them both. Like I said, the only person I could tolerate out of this family is Elizabeth. We all know Elizabeth's pregnant, and I believe she already had the baby. Now, this episode is the big group therapy. Is the big group family therapy session. We have Chuck there, we have Pam there, we have Charlie there, we have Charlie's wife Megan there, we got Becky there, we got Jen there, we got Elizabeth there, and we got Andre there. We got the entire family in there, and I so feel bad for the therapist. So they come in, and, you know, the therapist asks Chuck, like, you know, Chuck and Pam, like, you guys, there seems to be separation in the family, and you guys want the family back together. Yes, they both mean well, but as soon as that was said, you know, Charlie, Elizabeth's brother, goes on and says, well, I think our family was closer till Libby married Andre. So then Andre and Charlie start screaming at each other back and forth and everything. I'm glad they didn't get into a fist fight, but they had mentioned what happened at the family barbecue last year, and who started who. You know, Charlie, last year at the family barbecue, Charlie came in like, call the cops. Look who's back, call the cops and everything. And that just pissed off Andre, and that led to that fight. But Charlie was saying, oh, that was just a joke. I was going to actually come in and try to reconcile. I don't think so. I really don't think so. You know, and in that situation, I felt like they were both wrong in that situation. So then, you know, the therapist, everybody started screaming at each other. And then the therapist was just like, okay, I'm getting this. I didn't want to have to do this, but I have to do it. She got to talk. So whoever's talking gets whoever holds the stick gets to talk. So Andre said that, you know, he had brought this up. He said, like, you know, they had some issues with immigration and thinks that somebody in the family reported him to CAC and everything. And Becky started screaming at him, saying, you probably made that up. And Charlie was like, who would call immigration on you? Like, we don't know, and we don't know nothing about immigration. Who cares? We don't care about you like that. You know, so why would we care and all stuff? You know, part of me believes that could be true. Like, they really don't care about him and wouldn't do that. The other half makes me to think that somebody secretly might did and not admit it and stuff. So, you know, and I'm surprised that, you know, we seen in this episode, we've seen a lot of Kimberly and Usman. They got like 4 scenes, and we didn't get to see how this family group therapy session like ended out. You know, they just left us hanging. I was kind of disappointed because I didn't really want to see all the Kimberly and Usman saga. I wanted to actually see what happened more at therapy with Elizabeth's family and Andre and stuff. So but like I said, I'm just so sick of this film. I'm hoping this is their last season of Happily Ever After, because they've been on season 4 happily. They were on 90 Day Fiancé season 5. Then they went on Happily Ever After 3. They came on Happily Ever After 4. Happily Ever After 4 is when their daughter Ellie was born. That was their storyline. Happily Ever After 5, their storyline was that wedding Moldova. Last year in Happily Ever After, their storyline was Andre and the family business, and this year their storyline is just separation of the family. So it's just not going to get any better with Elizabeth and Andre and Elizabeth's family. I mean, they can't stand him. He can't stand them. And, he's saying that if he gets deported and goes back to Moldova, Elizabeth's going with them. It's that simple. And I'm hoping he doesn't get deported. I don't want nobody to get deported, really, if they came here for the right reasons. But, I think Elizabeth's family and Andre they need more therapy. It needs to be separate. It doesn't need to be together. It needs to be separate. So, and it's just, again, I'm just tired of this family. I'm tired of the disrespect that they have. And even in the therapy session, Charlie was upset that Chuck cut him off, and Chuck was like, I cut you off for your disrespect. You were saying F him, you're too up Andre's butt and everything, and you're weak and you're a woman and stuff. That's stuff you don't talk like that to your father. And especially if they're close. I would never talk to my father like that and say those things to my father. So I don't blame Chuck cutting off Charlie for all that crap and stuff. So, it's just, that family is just completely disrespectful, snobbish, stuck up. I mean, I don't mean to bash them, especially on this page, because I don't like to bash, but just calling it as I see it. And it's just, I've never seen a family like that, and it's just heartbreaking to see. So if I had in-laws like that, I don't know what I would do. I would run. that's just that. But anyway, guys, that was it. That was Happily Ever After. The season's over, finally. This episode, we didn't see Jenny and Submit. Next week, well, actually the week after, is the tell-all. We got the tell-all. We're finally at the tell-all. So, from judging by the previews, I'm going to start with Big Ed and Liz. Looks like Big Ed and Liz are fighting again, and it looks like Ed reconnected with his old flame from his original season with Rose from the Philippines, and they're going to have Rose on there. I'm kind of curious to see how that... So, Rose and Liz are going to be face-to-face. It looks like Michael brought his Instagram back up, and Angela's mad. Looks like Angela and Usman are going to get into it. And for the first time, they're calling it the tell-all, no limits. And I guess they're all going to be going out, hanging out afterwards in the city and stuff. I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. We've seen Andre and Jovi hanging out. Andre telling Jovi I might get deported and stuff. And Jovi was like, do you think it might be you? Do you think you're the problem? And Andre was like, do I look like a problem? And stuff. Also, in the tell-all, it looks like Jenny and Big Ed are going to get into it. Big Ed called Jenny a crybaby and told her to shut up. And everything looks like Jenny and Big Ed are going to get into it and stuff. It looks like Charlie and Becky are going to be at the tell-all to confront Andre. Andre's in New York. I guess Elizabeth stayed home because she was still pregnant at the time of the filming. So it looks like it's going to be it. And I guess they said it's going to be a 4-part tell-all. So this is going to be the biggest tell-all ever. So I can't wait to cover this. This is going to be great. So anyway, guys, before I sign off, I'm just going to do a quick run through on David and Annie and Lauren and Lexi's after the 90 days. So basically with David and Annie, they landed in Thailand. They're going to try to get Amber and Jordan back to try to do their visas to come to America. It didn't work last season. Hopefully it works this season. And Lauren and Lexi, this episode, they had Shy's second birthday. Lauren's actually pregnant again, and they're trying to prepare for a move to Israel. So that's what's going on, and as of right now with David and Annie and Lauren and Lexi's after the 90 days. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Merry Christmas to you guys all, and Happy Hanukkah. happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate at this time. Happy holidays to all you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been I have to admit, it's been a rough year for me, but doing these videos have been so fun. And I thank you guys for all your love and support, and watching these videos. And please like and subscribe. And I think I'll be back to consistently doing them now. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks when we do the tell-all. So thank you guys. Have a nice day.